I'm Dennis Galucki. Welcome to the 526th Imagine Greater Buffalo program and our 147th YouTube program, hosted by our wonderful Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. This program is created by the Center for the Study of Art, Architecture, History, and Nature, and ImagineLifelongLearning.com. Glad you've joined us today. Before we get started, just a little housekeeping. Everyone watching will be muted and your video turned off. If you have a question or comment, please type it into the chat box and we'll go through as many as possible at the end of the presentation. We are recording this program so you can watch it again later on the Downtown Central Library's Facebook page and YouTube channels, and we certainly hope you share the link with others. Now on to our featured speakers. Clifford Bell is known as Elder in the community, as a business advocate, churchman, former member of the Common Council, and civic leader on local Black history projects, including annual commemorations for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the King sculpture in MLK Park. He is the chairman of the Buffalo African American Museum, or BAAM, board of directors, and founder of the Together as One collaboration celebrating Black History Month locally. Ellen Harris Harvey serves on the BAAM board and is a key member of the leadership team for Together as One. She is a retired optician and a minister. She runs a nonprofit community outreach ministry called Spiritual Connections. Now, BAAM is the nonprofit organization seeking to create a museum honoring the heritage and achievements of Buffalo's Black citizens. Together as One collaboration in its second year has drawn together a dozen of Buffalo's cultural organizations, including the public library, to highlight historic sites, museums, and activities meant to raise the level of public awareness of local Black history and the Buffalo African American Museum. So we welcome both Clifford and Ellen. Take it away.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. And thank you so much for that introduction, Dennis, and Imagine Buffalo for having us on this show today. And thank you to the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library for opening up the doors for us to be able to talk about our Buffalo African American Museum, Together as One, and the collaborative effort that we have been so blessed to have with our partners, supporters, and sponsors who have come together for the Black History Month 2024 Together as One celebration.
Welcome. Good.
Mr. Bell?
I think it's very important for people to know when you say imagine that BAAM organization has been able, through talking to the officers and people of importance in all these other organizations, to agree to do this Together as One as a collaborative effort where all of us are working together for the same goal. Can you imagine what Buffalo and the world would be like if people were working together? That's what we imagine as we presented our skills to make this construction of a physical library in memory of all these outstanding African Americans and the things that they have done.
Yes. In the Buffalo African American Museum, we actually prepared some slides for you. If you want to cue those up for me, Allison, I'd appreciate it. And like Brother Bell said, this initiative and the mission and vision of the Buffalo African American Museum is the primary goal is to build the first Buffalo African American Museum in the city of Buffalo in Western New York. That was why it was created back in 2012, and that is the mission of the organization. And through this collaboration with Together as One, it is highlighting this organization in order for people to recognize, the founding people who have put history together in the city of Buffalo. Brother Clifford Bell, he's an icon in the city of Buffalo for all the work that he's done from the grassroots level up. To make sure that we lift up our African American history and culture in this city and in this area, to make sure that our young people don't get left behind with this history. So if you want to cue up the first slide, we'll just go ahead and get into it. Buffalo African American Museum, celebrating Together as One for Black History Month 2024. Next slide. BAAM's mission: to build a historical and educational museum that celebrates the rich heritage, culture, and life experiences of African Americans, providing authentic presentations and representations of the contributions that African Americans have made to the history and development of the city of Buffalo in Western New York through art and other cultural exhibits and displays, with the main purpose to house and promote exhibits that reflects Buffalo African American history. BAAM curates traveling exhibits, which are housed right here in the Buffalo Public Erie Library here for the month of February throughout Black History Month. The first exhibit, curated by the Buffalo African American Museum, features the founding and history of the Michigan Avenue YMCA. Mr. Bell, did you want to talk about that a little bit?
No, I
Next
think we
slide.
get the next slide.
Next slide.
I think what's important, not that's fine. Together as one.
Yes.
We can speak to that. The main feature here is not that it was thought about by Brother Bell, but it was to bring attention to what African Americans have done that have affected not just Buffalo, but the United States of America, and in some ways, the whole world. Because most people that refer to Blacks, even before Black History Month, were referred to historically as being in the slave business. And we are far more than that. We are so accomplished in so many other things. People just don't know. That's why we need to spread the word. It's not just for African Americans to show what we've done and be proud of it, but to let other people of other cultures and races know that we have played a significant role in the development of the United States of America and its history, and just need to be recognized for that.
Yes, that is so true. And until you learn the history, you won't know the contributions that African Americans made to everyday life that you wake up to every day. So next slide, please. You can just keep advancing. Thank you. This is a picture from our kickoff press event here at the library. And this is a bus tour kickoff. Together as One bus tour number 1 and number 2. And the next slide is going to show you, we did start off with the tours on the first week of February, and we were so happy to have the Underground Railroad tour was our first tour, and it was called Journey into History. So we visited the Buffalo site for the Underground Railroad right there at the foot of Ferry, and then we traveled on the bus all the way to Niagara Falls, which was so impactful for the people. You'll see people are getting on and off the bus. That's our bus. We're at the foot of Ferry at the Freedom Park right there on that slide. And next slide, please. And the Underground Railroad sign at Freedom Park, we're here where she came and brought the slaves through. So it's so much rich history in the city of Buffalo. And at the foot of Ferry and right there at Lake Erie. And a lot of our children might be going fishing down there, not even know the history of this, beautiful city and what happened to our ancestors and what they had to go through to get to freedom. So this is just so impactful. And this tour was really well received by all the people who attended. Next slide, please. There's a video clip here from the American Heritage Quarter in Niagara Falls, if you want to listen.
As I learn all of the work that we've done here at the Heritage Center, and of course the work we've done Together as One, it makes me really proud to be a part of this movement, because mobility, especially community mobility, especially community advancement, is only possible with people and possible with community. So for the Niagara Falls Underground Railroad Heritage Center to be able to join Together as One as a greater community of tourism and culture and education in the Buffalo Niagara region, I believe we are setting a precedent for beautiful change and a beautiful expansion of what culture. As I learned all
the video a little bit. Sorry about
Niagara
that.
Falls Underground World Heritage Center to be able to join together as one, as a greater community of tourism and culture and education in the Buffalo Niagara region, I believe we are setting a precedent for beautiful change and a beautiful expansion of what culture means in Buffalo and Niagara Falls.
Okay, maybe we can take the next slide, please. Because that was a little crossed up.
Yeah, they're
Now,
can you go back to the last one, which are just photos of the Underground Railroad in Niagara Falls? So this is depicting the tour that we actually took to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Underground Railroad. That's pictures of the tour there, right
bus
there.
people, yeah.
Everybody was off the bus, and they had a really nice time. We served lunch when we first got there, and they took the tour of the whole facility. And everybody just was so enthralled with the information that they were able to learn about the Underground Railroad in Niagara Falls. Make sure you visit that site at the Underground Railroad.
Very important stopover. On the way to Canada, that was really the goal of the escaped slaves, would to go to the foot of East Ferry, which is West Ferry, actually on the other side of the Niagara, and be assisted to catch some kind of transportation, even to taking the chance to swim, because that little bridge of water between the foot of West Ferry is going across it is Canada. And once you got to Canada, you were a free slave. So you can play the next, if you will, the next slide.
It would be the Black Achievers, Mr. Bellamy.
I thought that was Herb Bellamy Jr. from the Black Achievers on Jefferson Avenue near East Ferry in Buffalo, New York, where he has over 1,000 records of Black Achievers, and he have an annual Black Achievers banquet where upwards of 20 to 25 African Americans will be celebrated by their employers or the organizations that they're associated with for having done outstanding work. So very precious place to visit too. Check him out, Herb Bellamy Jr., carrying off his father's mission of Black Achievers representation.
Yeah, this is just a really short clip, but they did the tour of the facility last week's Saturday tour, which was phenomenal. Can you just play that short clip, please? It doesn't drag.
Last year it was fantastic. We had many groups come in that would have not came in our museum to see some of the famous historians of Buffalo, the Black Achievers, unsung heroes in our community that have been doing tremendous things over the last 50 years of celebrating Black Achievers.
Rich, rich history. Next slide, please. I don't know what that is. It's popping up.
I don't know.
Next slide. It should be
Seems
another
like we
clip.
have a little competition, but in
It's
the
okay.
meantime, we'll just
You can
keep
talk.
telling you that the library has been essential as a support mechanism, because all their libraries, at least 22 of them, will be featuring Black history information during the month of February. And just any place you go in your neighborhood where there's a library, or the other places that Ellen's going to mention shortly, where these exhibits are on display.
This is a clip from the History Museum's executive director. If you want to just play that quickly, and then I'm going to acknowledge some of the supporters and sponsors and partners.
The Buffalo History Museum is thrilled to again be participating in Together as One for the 2024 Black History Month. Last year, we truly benefited from the partnership and the holistic vision that the Buffalo African American Museum had for the event. This year, we're building on our signature exhibit with the Uncrowned Community Builders and the Say Their Names exhibit. So we're really excited about the programming and working with our partners again.
Awesome. We want to take this opportunity. I know that Dennis did announce that we had 12 partners, but we actually have 15 partners who are on board with the Together as One initiative in 2024, who joined us, and other sponsors and supporters and people who financially supported us this year. And so we just want to make sure that you have our website to go to www.buffaloafricanamericanmuseum.org and visit our website, and you can see all the programming for this month's tours for all of our partners, exhibits and programs. You can go right to that one central location to check everything out, to find out what's going on with Black History Month through the Buffalo African American Museum Together as One partnership.
Certainly. And I also want you to understand how important this is to BAAM, that this same relationship is fostered to grow, hopefully till we have 5, 6, 7, or 8 annual affairs, and that the same relationships we have with these organizations is maintained. So sometime during the year between now and 25, we'll meet periodically just to see how close we are together and what we can continue to do that will blend Buffalo into the kind of city that we want it to be, even from a cultural point of view. And Black history is a good base from which to start to carry out this kind of a message.
We want to increase education and raise awareness about our Black and African American local history. And we can only do that together as one. When we came together in the room, it's like magic just happens. Everybody works together. Everybody wants to collaborate. Everybody wants to share their ideas and partner in order to make this what it should be for our community. This is our community, and we have to want to give back. So we look for volunteers. If you want to come in and volunteer and lend some time to this effort, volunteer. Come to our website and send us an email, buffaloafricanamericanmuseum.org.
And most of all, this month in particular, take a minute and go to the downtown library in Buffalo, New York, where you will see the results of our displays from BAAM for the YMCA and the making of a monument, which is the second largest tribute to Dr. King in the United States of America. And the group that is working now is a offshoot of the Martin Luther King Celebration Committee that laid the groundwork. And we're just continuing not only to pick and serve those same people that have done so many outstanding things, but to let people know that we appreciate that young people are interested and want to take advantage of this culture and the foundation that was laid by so many people. Brother Bell's 94 years old, but I'm standing on somebody's shoulders. And hopefully somebody can begin to stand on some of us that are working like Sister Holly, Ellen, and myself to make things better for the total community. We appreciate your support, and we hope you'll look at our website and take advantage of that information you receive and share it with some of your friends. Tell them now's the time to be together as one.
Yes, and also this tour this week that's coming up on the 17th, it's going to feature the Frederick Law Olmsted MLK Park with the famous bust of Martin Luther King, and it's going to be tour Brent Garden as well, and then come back here to the library to do the Buffalo African American Museum tour of the Michigan Avenue YMCA and the making of a monument. And you don't have to book through us to do a tour. You can do a single tour on your own. We are all sold out for all the tours so far. We are accepting people on a wait list only at this point, but you can go on the website and find out the programming for all partners so you can take advantage of learning about our rich African-American history.
Together as one, BAAM, and at least 15 other notable organizations. AKG just came aboard a brand new facility for arts and crafts, is one of the people that's involved with us also. And they have exhibits in their new place over on Elmwood Avenue. You know, visit these places, visit these libraries, talk to people. Don't be afraid. The reason we're not getting together as often as we should is because we don't communicate enough about those things that are important to us. Life, friendship, relationships are essential to getting something done as a group. And we have that kind of relationship with all of these founders and supporters. I want you to know there's a welcome space for you. Look at our website. If you feel so impelled that you would like to support us, let us know how you feel. Share information with us about suggestions you might feel that would be helpful to our growth. Just let us know that.
Yes, let us know that. And I know we've had this on the screen for quite some time, but we do have a video slide coming up with Sharon Holly. I did not want to forget, we have storytellers on every tour bus who have been phenomenal telling the stories of African-American history here locally in Buffalo. So next time we do this tour, you don't want to miss it. We're hoping that we'll be able to make up another tour and figure out, you know, when we can get that done. But at this point in time, we're trying to finish the ones that we just started. This is a new process for us, but it has just been a phenomenal outpour and people response to this tour. And we're thankful for everybody who came and contributed and donated your time, your expertise, your volunteerism. We thank you, all the partners and sponsors, and every organization who has played a part in making this a success. We thank you all. Could you go to the next slide, which features Sharon Holly from the Nash House, please? That's part of our last tour that's going to be coming up.
My name is
on
Sharon
February
Holly, and
24th.
we're here at the Nash House Museum, 36 Nash Street. And I'm here to tell you about our contribution to Together as One. We will be participating again in 2024 for Black History Month. We will be having special programs, and hopefully you will come and visit us at the Nash House Museum, the historic home of Reverend J. Edward Nash and his wife, Miss Frances Jackson Nash. So we'll see you then.
Thank you very much. And the next slide, I think, is Ann Connable from the Buffalo Library. And that will end our presentation, and we'll take questions if anybody has any.
The Together as One event is kind of a new initiative, I think, and it's a good one because it brings together a lot of the cultural partners here in Buffalo and Erie County to think together and work together on elevating the stories of Black history here in Buffalo and Erie County. And that is a really important thing to do, whether it's Black History Month or whether it isn't. There's an awful lot of stories that nobody knows. And this is an opportunity for everyone to participate, for everyone to tell different parts of the stories, and for everybody to really pay attention to this part of our local history, which generally speaking, people don't know a lot about. So I'm excited about the collaboration. There's a wonderful array of cultural partners that are working on this together. And I think it will be meaningful, and I think it will be interesting for the community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Well, thank you both. Wonderfully done. You covered a lot of ground.
We did.
In a short
Slides
period
were
of time.
useful.
No, I'll ask a question. The community is pointing to Canal Side in terms of trying to tell the larger story. People coming here, people moving on, many staying. And it certainly includes the African-American community. It includes everybody. And the anniversary, as you know, is will be next year, 2025. And then you have in 2026, the 250th of America. My question is, as much as Black History Month is February, the Canal Side is much to do about the nice season of the year, the summer, the late spring and early fall. And I'm just wondering, do you envision somehow connecting with Canal Side to tell stories? And to finish the question, we've got Explore Buffalo as a storytelling organization. I'm wondering if you're working with them to develop tours, to develop some way in which this is mainstreamed beyond just the month of February.
At this point, we're not working. Oh,
Right. We're not working with Explore Buffalo as of yet as far as tours go. We actually did collaborate with them when we were in our committee meeting for the Together as One. So they have been, in the conversation. Of course, we know they exist and we know what they bring to the table and what they can offer, to us trying to, spread the word about African-American history and collaborate in such a way that we can spread it in a larger scale. But, there's always doors and opportunities that we would look at that, of course, would enhance this opportunity for us to make sure that we are lifting up the African-American history that we should be. But we're also working with the African-American Heritage Corridor, and that is a significant part of the city of Buffalo as far as the history goes for our organization and our exhibits that we have on display right now for the Buffalo African-American Museum.
and the story group that is here, Storytellers Group, has a national organizational meeting here later in Buffalo this coming year. And that's going to be a part of what we do. We have a direct connection with the storytellers. And listen, I think we should be in every story that's being told as a significant part of it for the role we played historically. We welcome the opportunity to tell the story, to share the story that involves us as an integral part of Americans' history. But our focus right now as an organization is on sharing information about notable African Americans who lived in and around Buffalo that made some significant contributions to our history.
Great, great. Allison, how are we doing for questions?
We have a couple. The first, is there a way to schedule a youth or student-focused presentation or tour?
Right now, we're together as one. We don't have that programming available, but we are actually certainly going to take everything back and, dive into what we can do better and how we can increase this, outreach for tours for school children. Of course, we did have a lot of feedback from facilitators at schools and colleges. I got a lot of, information from people seeking to go on tours, but they wanted a larger bus. They had more students in their classroom. So we have been receiving a lot, of information from organizations wishing for us to do more in this capacity as far as African American history goes. So we're going to definitely take it back to the table with all our partners.
Whoops. Where do we go here?
Let me go check. Oh, here we go.
There you're back. We lost you there.
I know. I was like, we were talking. I'm like, yes, we've had a lot of. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
Allison, any other questions? Whoops. You're muted. You're muted.
There we go.
There you go.
How can the community get involved with the Buffalo African American Museum, and will there be an actual museum?
Absolutely.
That is our goal and that is our mission. And
that's what we imagine, and that's what's going to happen.
This is Imagine Buffalo, so only imagine. One day there will be a brick and mortar African American museum in the city of Buffalo and Western New York.
And we're going to
we can all be proud of it.
Well,
yes, and that it'll be a collaborative effort.
If I could just add to that, a group that I've worked with for years is the Buffalo Presidential Center. And they too imagined one day having a physical facility. And maybe that will happen, but it is happening right now, right with the same people you're working with. And that's the downtown Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. They have a space there.
Wonderful.
And the storytelling with volunteers is going on Saturdays typically, but they have presentations just like you're trying to do, but it may be something, to make sure you're chatting with the folks you're located with right now. So,
we're talking with everyone, Dennis. We're talking with everyone. If they got an interest in history about Buffalo and vicinity, we're very interested because that's our single focus. Does not mean that we will not have African American history about people who didn't live in Buffalo or just visited Buffalo. But what it really means is sometimes people that do things are never recognized on the kind of a level that someone becomes a noted speaker or presenter of better times. They just can disappear. But we want to recognize some of those people and write something about them so it gives a little more encouragement to do things if we're recognized for what we've done.
And we're willing to explore opportunities with any cultural professional organization that would, increase our ability to realize the dream.
We welcome you.
Good.
We really do.
Allison, I cut you short there. Do you have any other questions?
No, that was it.
All right. One
Thanks,
last,
Allison.
the community is going through quite a discussion about this whole Kensington project. Is there a way, no matter how it resolves itself, to use that project? Maybe signage comes out of that, maybe something that helps tell the very story that you're trying to tell to people. Maybe it's, as I say, signage comes to mind, electronic or otherwise. It's just a thought. Maybe you're part of their future, because the whole point of it was to connect the community.
I think once there's a little more focus, there has been a focus and a lot of work done previous to this time. Now there seems a little disagreement in the community about what was done and how it was done and the effect they think it's going to have. That's more political now. What we're talking about is something that everybody can be involved in and support, regardless of how you feel about whether the Kensington should be covered or left alone or whatever, but it's an issue that our area of concentration is about together as one. And I think when this is all done, we're going to be together as one.
Well, that's the goal from what I understand of that project. So I totally agree with you. I think that wraps it up. It's a great effort. Clifford Bell, you're an elder, and that's the right term for it. You've been a great Buffalonian. You've worked hard, much of it volunteer work, obviously. And Ellen, now you're part of this as well. So we can only wish you well.
Yes.
And so glad
Thank
that
you.
you accepted the invitation to tell your story today. And folks, thank you for attending once again. We'll sign off by letting you know we hope you come back next week. If you're at all interested in Mark Twain and certainly his Buffalo connections, you've got to show up next week. We've got the author, Thomas Riekstadt, who has written a couple of books now on Mark Twain, and a local author. So we hope you will join us to hear about his most recent book next Tuesday. So I'm Dennis Galucki. Be well and good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.